All right, this one's gonna be tough. This one's gonna be real tough because what I'm about to talk about is gonna be shocking to a lot of you out there, and it's only the truth. And I'm only gonna talk about this and teach you guys this because I truly care. With that being said, we're gonna dive straight into it. We're gonna dive into the number one reason 99% of artists are struggling or are not making sales, right? So with that being said, I'm gonna just get straight to the point, right? And then afterwards, if you wanna stick around, I explain all the ins and the outs behind why this the case. So if you wanna just get straight to the point, the number one reason you guys are making sales is because you're sending people to your website. Yes, that's the truth. It's because you're sending people to your website. Websites don't convert to sales. And I know this is a shocker for a lot of you because I talk to maybe 15 new artists every single day. And the one thing I hear more often than not is I'm working on my website. Or as soon as I get my website complete. Or my website is almost finished. Or the reason I'm not making sales yet is because I don't have a website. Or I just need a website and I'd be good to go. And the truth is that a website do not lead to sales. It actually hurt your sales, right? I even tell you this, when I teach my artists, I always tell them never send a person to your website. If they happen to find your website, great. However, if it's up to you, do not send them to your website. Actually, my artists defer people from going to their website when a potential buyer asks, do you have a website? I tell my artists to say, my website is currently getting redesigned. Is there's a particular artwork that caught your interest, right? So let's get into the nitty gritty for those who want to know the nitty gritty, right? So we're going to get into it. The reason why websites hurt sales is because the average website converts at less than 3%. This is true. You could Google this. You could look it up. I'm not going to show any statistics on the screen like I see other YouTubers do. Only because I'm too lazy to edit that into the video afterwards. But if you want to, you could look it up or you could just take my word for it. The average website converts at 3%. What do this mean? This means you have to send 100 people to your website just to get 3% of them to purchase. Now, let's talk about the details, right? So, now when I say the average website converts at less than 3%, you gotta also consider that these are some of the biggest websites like Louis Vuitton and Amazon and Walmart, you know? Those are the websites that's actually converting at about 3%. The average websites, you know, the ones that are unknown like myself, you know, and many of you watching this video, those websites convert at much, much less numbers. So you're looking at conversion rates of anywhere from 0.2 to about 0.8%, right? That means less than 1% out of 100 people is going to purchase your art when they go to your website. And I know a lot of you may think this is crazy. I know a lot of you may think this hard to believe. So let's jump into the details and why this actually is true. So the reason why people don't necessarily purchase from websites is mainly because they get distracted. Distraction is so easy nowadays because the average person attention span is 8 seconds. Yes, you heard me right. The average person attention span is 8 seconds. That's 3 seconds faster than a goldfish. So what do this mean for you? This means if you send someone to your website, you have literally 8 seconds to convince that person to purchase. And not only do you have to convince them to purchase, but you also have to make sure that they check out, enter their card information, and actually purchase the work in those 8 seconds. Why? Because we get distracted. What causes those distractions? It's usually little thing noises going off on our phones and new alerts and notifications popping up. And how many times have you had a notification pop up while you was in the middle of scrolling through a site, and then you go check that Facebook notification or that Instagram notification and you forget what you was doing initially, so you never go back to that website to make that purchase, right? And it's the same thing that goes on with your buyers. What I tell my artists that I'm currently working with is that if you send someone to your website, you basically just releasing them, like saying, hey, go explore, let me know what you find. And what happens 9 times out of 9 is that when that person go to that website, they start scrolling around, looking at all your artwork, loving all your artwork, because most likely it's amazing if they're interested to begin with, but they never actually make a purchase. So I'm not going to just sit here and tell you the problem, but I'm also going to explain the solution. So what should you be doing versus what you shouldn't, now that we understand exactly what not to do. So what you need to do is you need to have a conversation with every potential buyer that comes to your site. Yes, that sounds like a lot of work, but it converts to a lot of sales as well. So let's get into it. What I teach the artists I work with is that every single person that becomes interested in potentially purchasing their artwork, they have a conversation with that person, because these conversations allows you to remain in control from start to finish, right? So from the start of that conversation, you get to guide that potential buyer down a walkway straight to the purchase, right? You don't want to leave it up to the buyer to try to figure out their way to the purchase, right? You want to guide them directly to the purchase. Let's give an example. Let's say you have this big mega mansion, right? Let's say have 10 bedrooms, right? It look lovely, it's extravagant, it's beautiful, chandeliers, nice bathrooms, so many hallways that you could get lost, right? And think of that as your website. So it's extravagant, it's beautiful, it's lovely, right? And this is how a lot of artists' websites look. It's beautiful. But what happens is, let's say that person comes into the front door, right? And they want to make a purchase. And now your job is to get that person to, let's say, the master bedroom, right? Now, remember, we're in a mansion here. Your job is to get them from the front door to the master bedroom. The master bedroom is where the purchase happened, right? So think about it like this. If you're in that mansion and you're trying to get someone to that master bedroom, and you say, hey, just go up to the master bedroom, you'll find it somewhere in the house. If you have trouble, then come back to me and I'll be more than happy to walk you there, right? That's what a lot of you are doing when it comes to selling your art. So what happens in this case is that that person enters the house. They walk around, they go to all these different rooms because it's a mansion, and then they have a hard time finding that master bedroom. So because of that, they never get a chance to make the purchase, right? So what they typically end up doing is they will backtrack and leave out of that home without purchasing anything, right? Now, for those who I'm confusing here, basically what I'm saying here is that when you have a complicated website, it's like the person that's considering purchasing is walking around that store, right, or your website trying to purchase that artwork, but it's so confusing and so much going on that they never actually make it to the checkout page, right? Instead, you want to have the process of like a shotgun house. So I'm personally from New Orleans, Louisiana, and they have something called shotgun houses. Just got the mic, can't be hitting the mic. But they have something called shotgun houses. And I'll explain. A shotgun house is a house that have one hallway and it just goes straight down. So it's like a skinny hot dog style home, right? So it's one hall, and usually to get to each room, you have to walk through the first room, right? So really it's just a one shot, right? Which is why it's called a shotgun house, because it's kind of shaped like a shotgun. But you want to look at your purchases the same way. You want to tell that person, hey, I'm going to show you exactly how to get to the bedroom. And then it's a straight shoot to the bedroom, right? It's a one way. So the main thing here is what I'm saying is that you want to have a conversation with that potential buyer. Do not send them to their website, because the minute you send them to the website, you basically let them go and let them fly free, and then they're going to roam all over the place and never actually make that purchase. And the goal is to actually make sales, right? You can do everything right, but if you don't actually make the sale, then everything you've done before that becomes irrelevant. And the reason I'm here is because I want you all to be making sales. So with that being said, I will sum it up. What you want to be doing in this case is that you do not want to send people to your website. You want to get in a personal conversation with them, whether that's on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or wherever you meet buyers. And in that conversation, you find out exactly what they like, exactly what they want, where do they live, where would you be shipping the artwork, right? And then once you figure all those things out, you then want to make a compelling offer. So you want to say something along the lines of, hey, I'm so happy that you're interested in my artwork. And then you want to get into the pricing, right? And then at that point, that person have to make a decision. And that's where you want to be in the conversations. You don't want to send them to a website where everything is left open. You want to put them in a position to make a decision, right? You want them to say, yes, I want this artwork, I'm going to buy it, or no, it's not the time for me. But what I see what happen with a lot of people is that they send people to their website. The person who go on the website never purchased, and then you get into this follow-up game, right? And you get to sending this person 5 and 8 and 10 messages trying to see if they still interested in purchasing. And I don't want that to happen anymore. So the reason I'm making this YouTube video is already understood because you see it in the title as well as we just talked about it. But I hope you found this valuable. And secondly, I just want to say thank you for watching the past video. So it really made me want to do another video. So yeah, and once again, if you have questions, definitely leave them in the comments. And let me know what you guys want me to start talking about. I want to start covering literally every topic because I don't see anyone talking about how to actually become a successful artist in today's time, you know? So if I can help, I want to help. And for those who are new here, basically my name is Jeroy Henry. I work with visual artists. I'm currently working with over 100 visual artists at the moment, help multiple visual artists cross over 6 figures. And yeah, I'm just doing what I love to do. So as long as I'm here, I'm gonna be providing some valuable content. So please leave a like, press that little subscribe button, and yeah, let me know what you wanna see. And hey, if this is not for you, if you're the artist that don't care about selling your art and you just want to create art for the fun of it, then that's completely fine. You can still subscribe, you can leave a like, or if you don't want to do that, that's also fine. I just want to help those who want to be helped, and that's literally it. So with that being said, peace.